So the theme of this month is I need to figure out a way to become a whole lot more productive while also prioritizing work-life balance and actually enjoying where I'm at. You know, I feel like I'm just not enjoying it enough. Any of you guys can relate. Work-life balance, no matter what you do, it can be really hard sometimes. Either you play too hard or you work too hard, but it's kind of hard to find that middle ground and do both. That's the goal. That's what we're aiming for this month. This is just going to be a few days in my life for the month of February where we try to get that balance, but also be a little bit more productive, have fun, romanticize the day, romanticize our life, which, you know, I just don't feel like I've been doing enough of that lately. But first, I need to edit this video that you guys will have already seen.
Walked in this party and these girls looking at me. Skinny jeans on, you know my head now.
I'm really trying to stay on top of the fashion content this year because I do know you guys love that and I want to give you guys what you love. But when I'm not doing fashion, this is kind of what my life looks like. So I'm going to try to document it in a better way. So I did recently wash my hair, do my whole wash routine. I love the Dove products, can we just say. The Dove shampoo conditioner, the bond repair, is like my new holy grail. It just makes my hair feel so soft. But oftentimes while washing my hair, the intrusive thoughts get the best of me. And although the intrusive thoughts did get the best of me, I have to say I'm happy I listened, because here's the thing. I'm starting to realize I prefer shape over length, although I'm gonna try to do a better job of trying to have the best of both worlds. But yeah, I do very much enjoy the shape now that I have cut it. But I'm gonna try not to cut it anymore, okay? I'm gonna try my best. I'm really trying to stay on top of the fashion content for you guys. I know that's what you love, but also these next few days are the things that I kind of do to keep me inspired when it comes to fashion and other creative ventures and things that I like to do. But this is what I'm doing when, like, I'm not doing fashion-y things. This is the behind the scenes of a fashionista, if you that. And then also, school started for me today. I had to retake accounting because I had to withdraw. I just could not stomach failing that class. So we're doing accounting again, plus another class that I really have to get done in order for me to get my degree and graduate after this spring. So yeah, we're gonna do that. School is kind of like one of those things that I have to prioritize and have a better work-life balance with as well. So yeah, pray for me, guys. Work-life balance, she says. We're trying. So here's the deal. I just finished uploading the video that was supposed to go live, to actually filmed, edited, and uploaded all in the same day, that video. It's like what time is this? 6:30 when I uploaded that video. That's like a normal work hour to actually, yeah, because I started working at like around 9:30, 10. So 10 to 6:30, that is a normal work hour day. I should give myself permission to go ahead and clock out. I'm done for the day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my skincare. I'm gonna wash my makeup off. I'm so sorry this lighting is bad. Let's see if we can make it better. By the way, I'm gonna remove the majority of my makeup with the Elemis Pro Cleansing Balm. I love using this to take off my makeup. It just makes it so easy. There's a show called The Way Home I've been watching. It is such a cute show. Kind of low-key about time traveling, but the way the paths cross is just so interesting. And I think I find it so interesting because I had a dream like that once. I've been watching that, and I started watching it when it had 2 seasons, and right when I finished the 2nd season, I saw that within a week, the 3rd season was gonna be on Netflix. I'm gonna go ahead and probably watch that. I think I just want to veg. I definitely want to veg. And side note, this mascara, I'm doing the balm. It is not like coming off. This is that tube job from Urban Decay. However, the second I put water on it, which I'll show you. Let me just do it right now. But the second I pinch it, it just comes right off. It's so much easier. Oh my God. It's so bad. But you can see, like, came right off. Gonna do my tried and true, my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cleanser. This is, by the way, my nighttime skincare routine, if you guys have not gathered. I just love Kiehl's so much. I have been rocking with Kiehl's for so long. Every time I try to switch, I just can't. If you're interested in Kiehl's skincare, if you've never tried it, I highly, highly, highly recommend. I have a shopping list with all of my Kiehl's products on it that I will link in the description box. Hopefully you can try to catch them if they have like a deal, or maybe find somebody who has a discount code. But I just absolutely love it. And even though this company is no more because there was a lot of like legal issues and a situation going, I do have a face halo. That's what I use to take off my makeup. I have like 3 of them and I throw them in the washer. The washing machine, they have like a little mesh case that you can actually use to wash them in. And I like to use them because they get my eye makeup off really well. Like I had eyeliner still under here and I like to use the little corner to get it off really good. Now I'm gonna use my retinol skin renewing. You only need like, my face is big, so I use 2 pumps, but the instructions say 1. I'm assuming that's for a normal human size face. I'm gonna do my ultra facial cream, and a little goes a long way. That's actually a lot. Let me take half. That's about how much I use. Then I have my avocado eye cream, which you can't tell that's what it is, but that's what it is. And for both eyes, again, I just use like 2 dots. I need to try to find some really good under eye patches. And I don't want the ones that everybody's using that I don't know if they really work just because they're cute. I like really want some that work. So I'm gonna try to find some and test out a few. Normally I would put on a lip, but I'm actually about to hop in the shower, so I'm not about to do that. So I'm gonna hop in the shower. You guys know I've been loving Olay, and this one right here, Fresh Radiance with birch water and lavender. This smells so good. And then after I get out the shower, I'll mix it, or not with that. Let me zoom you guys out actually. I'll do my Vaseline. I do still love the Jergens, like these 2, which were my favorites. Those are so low that I now have to do this one. So this is the Vaseline. This is the Nourishing Moisture. But I mix it with my Disrupt Dubai. This is Peyton's collab with Disrupt. It smells so good. The body oil is potent. Every time I put this on, even mixing it with lotion, I can smell it in my bed for at least a couple days. It stays in my clothes, like my PJs. It lasts a long time. So I mix this with lotion. And I do actually have the accompanying body wash for that. And I do have, yeah, I still have the lotion for it as well. So maybe I'll put that on. I haven't been using that because it was limited edition and I didn't want to run through it so quick. So maybe we'll do that when we get out the shower. But yeah, I'm about to head in the shower. We'll do the last step of our skincare and then I'm gonna wind down because your girl has clocked out of work. Guess what we forgot to do? Our schoolwork. I started off this morning doing my accounting because the class went live as scheduled. But my African American Studies class, it went up a little late. So now I need to go over all of that, at least do my like a little about me, the things that are typical when you first start a class, because I need to stay on top of my schoolwork this semester. I cannot fall behind. We are too close to the finish. I'm gonna get in bed, pull out my laptop, and we're gonna do our LED light therapy mask for 15 minutes. And then by the time this is done, hopefully that's enough time to also get my schoolwork done. Work-life balance, how are we doing that? I'm going to get a pedicure with my mom. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm wearing. It's nothing crazy. It actually includes one of the thrift finds, which I don't know if you guys would have seen it by now, but I just have to prioritize comfort and looking presentable on days like this, because if I put too much focus on getting dressed and putting together a look, I will not relax and I will not get things done. I'll feel in my mind like I should work because I'm made up and I don't want to waste the makeup, you know, like, so I just have to prioritize looking decent. So I just did my brows, a little bronzer, and I'm very much considering if I'm going to do mascara or not. But to be honest, I really just don't feel like I want to do it. So I'm going to put on some lip gloss and I'll show you guys my outfit. Here is my outfit, just my little Ralph Lauren Polo Bear sweater, Coach bag to match my Ralph Lauren cafe hat. The leopard pants are thrifted, and then I have on my Zara loafers. And that is pretty much the gist of the outfit because I cannot be bothered to do anything else. No, let's talk about what you could say it off. What she says, she doesn't want to go thrifting with me anymore. Because why? I get locked in?
She get locked in and don't know when to call it quits.
But see, this is how I find the good stuff.
Maybe. I won't doubt it. I'm sure it's true.
See, I told her I'm dropping her off at home because I just want to dilly-dally. And she's talking about, don't drop me off. It depends on where you're going. I don't want to have to think too hard about where I'm going because she doesn't want to participate.
I am willing to do certain things, but that's because I know you're only going to be so long. But when you go,
I want to take as long as I want. We're in HomeGoods now, though. On the list is coffee and potentially sheets and another cotton quilt for the spring, summer.
It's right in front of me. A different energy.
Like me a nice strong espresso.
At a different place.
I think this one. Okay, so lately I have been using maple syrup for my coffee. I decided I'm not using those Starbucks Tawny syrups anymore because it's just not good for you. So I've been using pure maple syrup, but here they have these infused maple syrups, and I love the fact that they're flavored. Here's a lavender infused maple syrup, and then we have the vanilla. I'm getting all three. And these are gonna go in the, well, they can't go in the coffee bar because they have to be refrigerated, but I'm getting them. Let's see. My mom likes this. Look at this. It's salt, beetroot, grape flavor. Interesting. It's like supposed to be like a red wine flavored salt. And then they have some canned fishes here. Not smoked herring. Canola oil. I would not eat anything in canola oil. All right, I had to get out the food section. I was buying too many. It was like grocery shopping at HomeGoods, but now I'm at the sheets. I really, really, really want something like chocolate brown or burgundy. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not really seeing anything. It's probably gonna be a journey just like last time.
No, it's gonna be worth it though. No, it's gonna be worth it though. I feel the adrenaline when I step out on my own. I try to see it like medicine. I feel it in my soul. I can't go, can nothing stop me? Don't give up, no, I know.
We went to Target. I got this stuff to try the Abby Young method on my hair. I want to see if it works. There's a lot of hype, and I have really dry hair. I have to do a lot to keep it moisturized. Now, the thing that convinced me with the Abby Young method is the fact that three of the product recommendations were something I already used and saw an immediate difference when I used it, and that is the Dove Bond Repair hair mask stuff. But they didn't have the bond repair, they did have the intensive repair. Is that the one I have? No, I have the bond strength. But as I understand, they're very similar. So I'm gonna use the rest of this one and then I'll move to that one. I also got the Moisture 21-in-1 spray, the Everpure. That's also part of the method. They didn't have the glossing mask situation because apparently this method is of course viral. So I think like a lot of people were buying the things, so all I could find was the glossing shampoo. So I have the clarifying shampoo, which is this, and then you use a regular shampoo. Well, I'm gonna use the glossing shampoo instead, since the glossing stuff that I was looking for is not there. And then it has the Bond Repair Concentrate, this right here, and the OGX Coconut Oil, Miracle Oil, Penetrating Oil. So you're supposed to put this in your hair, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then follow this whole entire process. I'm gonna have to look at this again because it looks like a very, I don't want to say long. I feel like, oh, I also got a 2-pack of the e.l.f. lip squeeze bombs, and I gave one to my daughter already. And then razor refills, I use the Flamingo. But it's like a lot of steps, but I feel like once you get used to it, it just seems like a lot of steps until you do it. So I'm gonna do it and hope for the best, because I need my hair to be done tomorrow, so tomorrow when I wake up I can be productive. So I'm actually gonna turn on this show that I started watching yesterday that you guys saw, The Way Home, and I'm gonna watch that while I do my wash and go. And then also, just so you guys know, because I get a lot of questions about my hoops, these seem to be holding up pretty well. I got these recently from Amazon. I'll link them down below. I got them in gold and silver, and so far I am quite pleased. You guys know I love a big hoop. I'm a hoop girl through and through, and I really want to get more of my Melinda Maria ones. They're just so expensive. They're like $100, and mine I really need to replace. Where are they? So these are the small ones, the smaller ones, and the bigger version is the one you guys always ask me about. She actually personally gave me these at a Coachella event. She saw that I had the big ones on. She was like, you need the smaller ones, and so she gave them to me, and a hand chain and a like mini jewelry box right here. Of course, I was like, yeah, I do need them, but I really love the big ones, so I need to order them. I'm just gonna break down and do it. I just had to I wanted to try another one and see if it hit the same. It don't hit the same. I need the Melinda Maria one. I'm gonna go ahead and buy those eventually, but yeah, my hair's a mess under here. We're about to do the whole wash process, and then I'm gonna report back and show you, I'm not gonna show you guys the whole thing, but I will report back and tell you how I feel about it, if I feel like an immediate difference, if I feel an immediate difference after the fact. So let's get started on that, shall we? It's a little bit of a cozy morning. It's overcast and gloomy. It's sprinkling outside. I don't know if you guys could see from the video, but these are the kind of days that make me want to stay inside with a blanket, perhaps start a fire, read a book, and do nothing. However, we have much things to do today. I really want to get some things done around the house. However, I also kind of feel like I want to work. So ooh, how do we pick? I think first things first, I need to make my coffee. I really need to get into my word today, because I have been neglecting my Bible study, and I can feel it. And I have some questions, okay? I have some questions. I need answers. Where do we go for answers? We go to the word, that's right. So I want to get some coffee going. Yesterday from the haul, we did get these different syrups, and I was telling you guys I'm not going to be doing the Tirani or Starbucks like syrups at all, because I was reading the ingredients and they're just not the best, and I'm really trying to slowly eliminate the things in my diet and my family's diet that are not good for us. So I'd rather opt for learning how to make it, but also maple syrup. This is lavender infused maple syrup. You can literally see the lavender in it at the top. I would rather opt for something like this that I know is going to be healthier, even if I have to pay a little bit more money, honestly, because I'd rather pay a little bit more money in my food than on a medical bill or on the expenses associated with getting sick or having an illness. You know, you got to do the best that you can. So we're gonna do these. I kind of want to try the lavender, but I feel like this morning is giving vanilla. And then I want to empty out my coffee grounds in my espresso machine. And my husband has a coffee grinder right here that he uses for his coffee. If you guys are OGs, you know that this is our regular coffee. This is how we make our regular coffee in a mocha pot. It does not beat this, okay? If you want to have a really good cup of coffee, get rid of your coffee pot, get a mocha pot. I'm telling you, it makes the best coffee. But that is a dark roast. I need an espresso roast or an Italian roast coffee that's strong. So that's why I got this. I'm gonna replace my beans. I need a stronger cup this morning. And then I'm gonna make myself one of my homemade biscuits. So what I like to do is I make the homemade biscuits, I pre-cut them. And normally I make anywhere between 10 to 12. I pre-cut them and I have foil because I had run out of baggies. But I'll take the parchment paper and I'll put them on parchment paper. I'll separate them so that I can cook them like 1 or 2 at a time and not have to make the whole batch at a time. So it kind of gives me biscuits throughout the week or over the next 2 weeks if that is what I want to have. So I'm going to make a biscuit to go with my coffee. So I have about 5 minutes until the biscuits are ready, and I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do my Bible study on. I need to like go over the dream that I had. All right, I am back, and you know what? I have not been really good about stewarding what God has given me, and I'm gonna explain why. But first, let's talk about this dream I had. I've decided I bought this probably, let's see, I have the date in here actually. I bought this in 2022. It was 3 years ago. I bought this really big journal, and it has blank pages in it. And I actually bought this because I was coming into a real knowledge of my gift as a seer, and I wanted to write down what I was learning so that my kids could read it for later, or anybody who would come across this book could read it for later and it could be helpful for them. What's so interesting is what I chose to write on the front, which I don't know if you can see, but I wrote a whole intro on my gift and a particular dream that I had that changed the way that I viewed my dreams as they were attached to my gifts. It's so interesting because I wrote this in 2022, but it was encouraging to me in 2026. I was encouraged by what I wrote, and even though it came from me writing it, it was definitely Holy Spirit inspired, because the fact that I was able to read back over something that I wrote and encourage myself is crazy. But anyways, I felt the pull and the need to add a page. I have not really added a lot, and I'm going to read you guys what I added. It's very short, but I know that this is not just for me. This is for you too. And I've also decided I'm actually going to be using this as a sort of junk journal as well. So some of the art and stuff that I paint from my dreams, I'm actually going to put on one of the pages, and then I'll write about the accompanying dream and translation and interpretation and all of that on the next page. And I might consider turning it into a book for you guys, maybe, depending on how far along I get. Let's talk about the topic of what I feel like God wants me to talk to you guys about. And the title is, Can You Handle What You've Asked For? I had a dream where I was standing in a house but looking at another in my mind's eye from the outside. The one I was looking at was huge. It was multi-story and sprawling, like long and multi-story, okay? And my first thought when looking at that house was how exhausting it must be to walk from one end to the other. My next thought was, how can we afford this? I was amazed at the thought that we could ever potentially afford it, because we were looking at these houses because it was within our means to afford it. My third thought was, do we even need this much space? Because what will we even do with it? As beautiful as it was, the reality of owning that home and the maintenance that it would require seemed overwhelming without help. The Lord prompted me to look into walking, what it means to walk, because my thought being, gosh, it must be exhausting to walk from one end to the other. Walking is living by faith, progress, endurance. And endurance was really speaking because endurance is what it would have taken to walk from one end of that house to the other. For living by faith, I want you guys, in your own personal Bible study time, I want you to look at Romans 6:4, look at 2 Corinthians 5:7, 1 John 1 verse 7, and Isaiah 40 verse 31. I would encourage you to just read the chapters as a whole, but these specific verses speak to what I'm talking about. And when you do it, I want you to understand, no matter what it is that you are asking for, these are the things that are required to maintain it. And if you are falling short in any of these areas, maintaining what it is that you've asked for is going to be very hard. There are times we ask for more than we have the discipline to maintain. And oftentimes we don't even know the cost of our desires. Think of the parable of talents, which is something that I talked to you guys in a video, and the video actually did not get that many views, but I left it up because I just feel like it's going to be useful for someone. And the video is titled Gifts versus Talents, and in that video I go into discussing what a gift is and what a talent is. So I discuss that in that video. I encourage you to go watch it. But in the parable of talents, they were all each given talents according to their ability. They were not all given the same amount. In that parable, it specifically says that they were given them severally according to their ability, I think is how it's worded. But what that is saying is that everybody does not have the ability to carry the same amount of talents. So you're given what you were given according to your ability. After looking at this, looking at the scriptures and looking at everything that is required to maintain whatever it is that we asked for, you begin to understand that it's not really about how much you have. It's about what you do with it. So how are you multiplying what God has already given you while you are consistently still asking for more? It's important to understand the cost of your requests. And this is not just for you, but this is definitely for me, because I've been asking God for some very large things. And when God gives me a taste of it, I become so overwhelmed. I think I learned this lesson last year because March was a very busy month for me, like work-wise, house-wise. I had so much going on with the house that we were trying to get together, and then simultaneously I had so many sponsorships and deals, and I had overcommitted myself. In overcommitting myself, I found that I was so overwhelmed and I was like struggling to get everything done. But at the same time, the amount of sponsorships and work that I had in that month was what I had been asking God for. And I realized that I had not created a life of discipline that could manage that request that I had. I was not disciplined enough. I did not know how to structure my time appropriately enough. And it was very eye-opening, because it was in that moment that I realized, oh, I really need to spend a little bit more time resting this year, because I've just come through a battle, losing my father, going through so much change, And even now today in 2026, I lost my father in 2025. Is it 2025? No, I lost my father in 2024. Wow. I lost my father in 2024. All of 2025, I barely dealt with it. Even in 2026, I still have moments where I'm like, I don't think I've dealt with this. That year, I really had to spend some time dealing with myself and resting and doing everything required to build up my endurance, because the truth of the matter was I didn't have it. I did not have it in me to give. I say all that to say it is so important to be a good steward of what it is that you already have before you start asking for more, because a lot of times we ask for things and we really do not understand what it will cost to maintain what it is that we're actually asking for. We may think we could do it because it looks pretty from the outside, but there is so much that goes with trying to maintain what looks pretty and beautiful and great and aesthetic and cool and abundant from the outside. It's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of internal and spiritual work that goes into it. And the people who have been graced to carry it, sometimes they can make it look easy even though it's not. And then other times it looks easy, but you have no idea that they go home that night and they're crying and they're struggling and they're crying out for help because they feel overwhelmed, you know? So you just never really know the cost behind certain things. And when you don't get what it is that you're asking for, you have to consider it a grace and a mercy, because you don't know what having the thing that you're asking for could potentially do for you, not do for you, to do to you, because of the cost and the weight of what it is to carry it, you know? So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because this is something I'm definitely working on. I am trying to build a more structured, balanced life so that I can steward appropriately the things that I've already been given. And that brings me to another dream that I had, which I will be writing about, I think. But I had a dream that I was in my backyard, and the backyard didn't look like the backyard I have now, but it was still my house. It was still my backyard. And I remember going out there thinking that there was no fruit back there. And when I went back there, there were so many fruit trees and plants and herbs and things back there that I did not know were still growing. It was like I knew I had at a certain point planted some things, but because I had not been doing a good job of going back there to maintain it and tend to it and prune and do all the things, I thought surely everything that is back there is dead. Little did I know, when I went back there, I started to see that things were still growing. Now, everything needed to be like groomed. Like I still needed to like go and do some pruning and some cutting back and like turning over of the soil and all of that. But what was the most shocking thing to me is that there was this sprinkler system back there that was timed to go off. And while I was looking at everything back there, I saw the sprinklers go off and water everything without me even having to do anything. And just that alone is what had kept everything alive while I was being neglectful in my own backyard. That is a message, because I have not been tending to certain areas of my personal life the way that I should be, because I've been so concerned with like working and going out and doing things and trying to feel productive, while literally it's been the grace of God alone, that watering system, that timed sprinkler, that has literally been keeping things alive and keeping them growing, even though I have not been doing the work. That also lets me know that we really can do nothing without God. Things are not maintained and growing and fruitful because of anything that we are doing. It is maintained and growing and fruitful because what God is doing, even when we're not paying attention. I want to get better at stewarding and multiplying what it is that I've already been given, because there's multiplication there. There is fruit there. I'm just not even aware of it because I'm not focused. I hope that's helpful for somebody, because I know that the beginning of the year, the new year, new me. Oh, this is gonna be the best year of my life. Things are gonna be different. Things are gonna change, and you cannot have change without doing something different. But it can be discouraging to feel like you don't know where to start, to feel like you don't know how to get what it is that you really want. Like, you have these desires, you have these goals, you have these dreams, but you're not quite sure how to obtain it. And I think it first starts with these scriptures that reference walking, because that is what's going to be required to maintain whatever it is that you're asking for. And with that, we have the verse in Joshua. And the verse in Joshua is Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou may observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. This was the first verse that I opened up today when I started my Bible study, before I got to this dream, before I started breaking it down, before I started writing it. This really is everything. I think that is my Bible study for today. I definitely want to paint a picture to go along with this dream for this book, but I am so grateful that God has kept things watered while I've been neglectful. I'm gonna get myself together. I've done my hair last night, which I showed you guys, and it does feel good this morning. It's a little bit more defined than it typically would be. I still am struggling with the straight ends because obviously heat damage, you know, but I'm gonna try to see what my hair is looking like and get myself together. And what I want to do is tend to my garden. This is letting me know I need to figure out what's going on in the house first before I start trying to work. We're gonna do a little bit of a haul later because I've been shopping the Zara sale. I did get some thrift items, and I think I want to show you guys what I got. So yeah, let's go. All right, as promised, we're gonna do a bit of a haul. We're gonna do thrift and stuff that I got from the Zara sale. I didn't get a ton of stuff from the Zara sale because, as you guys know, I prefer to thrift, but there were some deals that were just so good, they actually beat the thrift pricing. So we're gonna get into everything. Actually, let me get my Zara bag. I'm gonna show you guys that stuff first. Let's start with these. These loafers are such a dupe for the Saint Laurent loafers that I have been having my eye on, but I just was not certain on the price. Like, I really would prefer to find them pre-loved or wait till they go on sale, hoping they do, because it's such a classic silhouette. I feel like if they went on sale and they're out of season, I'm still gonna want to wear them anyway. So I got these, and maybe I'll find like a burgundy or a brown pair or a cream pair or something like that on sale, and then I'll still keep this one. I did toy with getting the Tony Bianco version, which I still might do because those are real leather. And then Steve Madden also actually has a version coming out. Both of them will not be available until March though, so that's why I got these for now. They were super affordable. I want to say they were like $59.90, which I think is a steal. I still have not taken this out to like really wear it. Still has the plastic on it, but this is my Coach bag. I showed you guys that on my Christmas haul, but I had it right here because I have all the new in things in the same area so I could take them up. I was at a different mall that did not have a Zara in it, but they did have a Macy's, and Macy's was having a sale. So I found these Sam Edelman loafers, which I got just in case I couldn't find those. They're still pretty different, that I feel like I'm gonna wear them both, but it's this black pair right here that's patent leather, and it has this little tassel detail right here, which is a trending little detail, and these were $39.93. They were a phenomenal deal. I feel like I would wear these in different instances because they give different vibes, you know, with the outfits. Maybe not to you, but to me. They give different vibes. So I essentially got both of these loafers still for less than the Steve Madden or Tony Bianco ones. Granted, they're not real leather, but you know how particular I am about real leather. But I just figure these are some that I could wear a lot. Even if I run them into the ground, I won't panic because they weren't that much. These you could still find at Macy's if you look, I'm sure, but they're in the sale section. If I can find them online, I will link them and try to put a QR code on the screen. Okay, I only got 3 Zara clothing items, and the first one, these were, I wanna say $9.98 or something like that. And they're these harem pants, and I tried these on in store. They were so cute. Satiny material, which I have a ton of spaghetti strap, like little tops and things like that I could wear with this for the spring and summer season. They were 80% off. I got a size medium, and I just feel like they're so cute. I love the way the elastic band on the outside is really thin, but on the inside it's actually thick, so it has some structure around the waist. I am so excited for these because I know I am going to wear these so much through the fall, winter, spring, and summer. So that's why I got these. It takes a lot for me to get a retail item because it really has to serve a larger purpose in my closet. I cannot go shop retail for pieces that I'm only gonna wear once. I just can't do it. And I don't really like to get pieces that I'm only gonna wear once anyway. So I also got this top, which is a sheer taupe little top. I've been needing more tops that are more fitted because a lot of my tops, like my t-shirts and things like that, they're so oversized now, especially more than ever. I am on the hunt. When I was doing my styling video with the split hem skinny jeans, I really wanted some more v-necked, kind of like slightly oversized t-shirts, and I don't have any anymore. So I am definitely gonna try to get some today while I'm out, but I just want some more v-neck t-shirts because I've really been enjoying the vibe. But that's neither here nor there. This is a sheer like mesh shirt. I think it's going to be perfect for the spring summer season, plus I love the color. And this was literally like $6 or $7, which again, cheaper than what it would be in the thrift store, I'm sure. I got this even though I feel like I have something very similar. The only difference is the one that I already have is not opaque. No, the one I already have is opaque. It's not very see-through. This one is a little bit more sheer and see-through, which I like for a different reason. And it is this lace midi skirt. And the main reason I got this one too is because of the kind of like jagged hem. And I like the lace detail at the bottom. I feel like this is gonna be so cute all spring, summer long. I'm just gonna wear it with like little booty bike shorts underneath it. It just has a little bit more of a dainty, lacy, lightweight vibe than the one I have. The one I have is very good quality. It's thick and layered. And I believe the hem on the one I have is just straight. I like that this one is jagged, and I would probably even consider stacking them on top of each other just to create some dimension. So this was a really good buy. Again, only $19.99 or something like that. And I want to say the original price was $100. Crazy. Now we're gonna get into the thrift items and we're gonna do rapid fire. Some of these things you've already seen, some of them you will see. All of this stuff will be in upcoming videos that are styling for this month, so don't you worry, you will see everything styled up. But I got this bracelet, this bangle. I love this. I wanna say it was only like $7, such a good deal. And I'm looking for more bangles and statement bracelets and things like that because I feel like that's gonna be my vibe for the summer. So when I saw that, had to get it. It was the only jewelry piece I got. They had, I cannot even, in the thrift video for the inner circle, y'all saw the prices, insane. I cannot even, but the inner circle video is going to be up when this video is up so you guys can see the actual thrift trip. So if you want to join the inner circle, you can do that there and kind of like go with me thrifting. But I got these barrel jeans from Lioness and I wore these yesterday, which you guys saw, and they are so cute. I cannot believe I actually found these, like a more modern trending piece in the thrift store, like still currently trending. And they're real denim, 100% cotton, high quality. I love these. I'm so excited. I don't care when this trend dies, I will still be wearing it because I just love this shape and the silhouette. And there will come a time where that is not easily findable anymore because it's already starting to be phased out with skinny and cigarette and bootcut jeans coming back. So I can't wait to wear that more when they're not everywhere. Another brand new with tags item I found is this cardigan by Alfred Eden. And I love the color. I think this is perfect for the cooler springtime and also kind of towards the end of fall, beginning winter here in Houston when it gets kind of chilly. I just love this as something to bring and wear like over something I'm already wearing. The end hem is like that all the way around, even the sleeves. And I don't think this pen was supposed to come with it because I tried to find the Alfred Eden sweaters online to see if that pin was an Alfred Eden pin. And it's not. I don't know where that pin came from, but I'm leaving it on because it's super cute. I got some designer pieces that I got a sick deal on. And the first one is this Burberry wool, 100% wool, yellow cardigan. Has the little Burberry horse right there. Burberry tag. and I love this bright color. I'm definitely going to be wearing this a lot, and it is a warmer sweater. I don't know if it's going to be cool enough to wear it now because it's starting to warm up a little bit in Texas, but on those warm days, or if I want to wear a cardigan around my shoulder or just kind of like take it with me, I will. And this one I had to get because it was giving Schiaparelli, and I tried it on in the thrift with me, and I could wear this as a blazer dress. It's gonna look so cute. Oh my gosh. But what really got me on this one is the gigantic metal like gold buttons, and these are not plastic buttons. They are a hard, thick, heavy metal, and it's on both sides, so when you button it up, it's like very exaggerated buttons. I love this so much. It looks so cute on. Oh my gosh. And it is Vintage Express. Y'all know Vintage Express is like one of my favorites because Vintage Express was very, very, very high quality. Another piece I got, this was brand new with tags again. Still had the tags attached, but it's vintage because it's vintage chaps by Ralph Lauren. You can see right here. Chaps was later sold, so Ralph Lauren and Chaps are no longer associated, but vintage Chaps was also Ralph Lauren, so that's this. And it's just a really nice summer button up. It's like a nice little navy blue pinstripe. I think this will be really good for just tossing over cut off shorts or wearing with the swimsuit in the summer, giving that very preppy vibe. I could wear it with linen pants, all of that. I'm very excited about that. And then I got these Simon Miller jeans. I cannot believe these fit so good, and they're like a slimmer, almost kind of like a cigarette or boot cut, and they are a little bit cropped. They give such 60s 70s vibe, and I just love them so much. They were a decent deal. They were like 50 bucks, which for Simon Miller jeans is a good deal. I still think that's crazy for the thrift store, but if I saw them anywhere else that was not a thrift store, I would buy them, and that's kind of how I decide if I'm gonna pay for something that's priced a little bit higher in the thrift store. If I saw it somewhere else that was like a consignment shop or whatever, would I buy it? And if the answer is yes, I'll get it at the thrift store, especially if I could verify the authenticity myself. And then this, I also really love. I did not know Lamborghini made clothing, but I saw this and I'm like, oh, that's cute. It says Lamborghini on the front, but then it has the Lamborghini logo on the back. I suspect this is something you can only get at the Lamborghini dealership. Maybe you might be able to order it online, but I just love the black and yellow. I think it's super cool, and I think I would wear these honestly with the Simon Miller jeans, just kind of like tone it all the way down and maybe do my my Zara loafers. And then also I got this belt. We talked and did a whole entire video on the Etro runway show and the braided leather belts. I was particularly looking for them with a gold buckle because it's a little bit harder to find. This one is so thick. It's full grain cowhide leather. I like the fact that I could do it at any point on the waist and have a longer like little hang time. I was needing a belt like this a week ago when I was getting dressed and regretting the fact that I didn't have one. Now I just really want to find something like this, like exactly like this in black, but I'm glad I have the chocolate brown version because I will definitely be wearing it a lot. And I think with the loafer situation, I probably will do the Tony Bianco chocolate brown suede leather loafers to go with my darker leather belts, because I have my lighter brown Gucci loafers for any of the lighter colored belts, but I don't have any chocolate brown loafers, and I do feel like I would wear chocolate brown loafers a lot also. Now the rest of what I'm going to show you is pants, because I kind of went crazy on the pants. Obviously silhouettes are changing up for this season, and I am able to more easily identify the ones that I'm looking for. So these are a chocolate brown cut from the cloth pair of jeans. Cut from the cloth is actually a pretty good brand actually, and these are a like little skinny slim, I want to say this is a slim fit boot cut because it's very slim and skinny through the leg, but it gives like a slight flare boot cut at the bottom. This is not like my skinny flares that are Wrangler, because those have a wider flare, but this is more of like slim kind of boot cut, and I love the way that it fit. It actually is a picture on my Pinterest board that has Mary-Kate or Ashley wearing something very similar to this, and I pinned the photo because I loved the vibe and I saw those and I was like, yes. And then I found these Ralph Lauren vintage cigarette style jeans, and these fit like the ones that I got from that one thrift store that I got them in like a chocolatey brown burgundy-ish color and a light denim one. And a lot of you guys were asking me the brand. It was like a brand it wasn't Levi's, but it looked like Levi's. This fits just like that, and it's a washed black denim. I am so excited, and I'm again so excited I got the loafers because all of those I feel like go with these types of jeans. Like I love a loafer with a cigarette cropped pair of jeans. And then I got these, which are Velvet Lucky Brand jeans. These are a black velvet, I don't know if you can see, and they're cropped skinny, kind of like cigarette. I love these so much. They fit so good, and the texture on them is insane. I don't know if you can see because it's black, but I just love a textured, fun material pant. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear today. I would love to wear these today, but we'll see. Next we have this Derek Lam denim skirt. I actually found this online still. The original price of this skirt is like $3.50. I got it for $12, I believe. 12 or yeah, I think it was like 12. And it fits so well. And I definitely, again, will be wearing this spring, summer. I love a good denim maxi skirt. I don't know why the church girls are traumatized by it, but I love a denim maxi. So I'm going to continue wearing them. I love that. And then last but not least, we have the Paige skinny jeans that I cut into a flare. And I really, really, really like these a lot. And I cannot wait to really just like get my use and wear out of those. But yeah, that was like everything from the thrift haul. It was a pretty good haul. Actually, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, yeah, girl, you did decent. So now that we've done this, I do have a video coming up where we're going to be cleaning out the closet and getting rid of some things based on what we're bringing in, because we cannot continue to bring in and not let go. So we're bringing in, we're gonna let some things go, and I'm gonna see about putting the things that I let go up on my Depop. I will have my Depop link down below in the comments because I do have a bunch of leather skirts that don't fit me anymore up. So if you guys need a leather skirt and you're like, I would say a size 12 to 16, there's probably a leather skirt up there that'll fit you. That is my little haul. I'm gonna end the vlog here because I want to start a new one. We're gonna go do some house stuff. So yeah, I feel like this was such a good haul, and I'm so happy with all of the pieces that I got. I can totally see myself wearing them so many different ways, so many years to come. Like none of this stuff is things that I feel like are a trend for me. They're just things that I love to the core, unique pieces. Even the fun printed pants, those are something I'm always going to want to pull for. Even if I don't wear them every single year, I might put them away for a year, but it's such a cool pair of jeans that you're not going to always be able to find. So that's kind of like also what I think in my mind is, will I always be able to find something like this, or is this going to be that anomaly some years from now? And I truly feel like the Simon Miller pants are going to be. So I'm really excited for all these pieces, and I just cannot wait to style them up. Tell me down in the comments below what your favorite piece is.